Hello everyone, today we discussed about tissues. So, all the living organisms are made up of cells. In multicellular organisms like ourselves, these cells don't just exist in isolation, they work together in organized groups called tissues. These tissues are like the building blocks of an organism. They perform specific functions that keep the organism alive and functioning. Think of a tissue as a team of specialized cells working together. Each cell type in a tissue is uniquely suited to perform a particular task. This division of labor allows the organism to function efficiently. Understanding tissues is key to understanding the complexity and beauty of life. In animals, there are four main types of tissues: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue, and nervous tissue. Each tissue type has its own unique structure and function. These tissues are found throughout the animal kingdom, from the simplest invertebrates to the most complex vertebrates. Epithelial tissue is like the protective outer layer of our skin and the lining of our internal organs. It forms a barrier between the body and the outside world. It also lines cavities and surfaces within the body. Think of epithelial tissue as the first line of defense against infection and injury. Epithelial tissue is characterized by its tightly packed cells. There is very little space between these cells. This arrangement allows epithelial tissue to effectively act as a barrier. It also helps to regulate the passage of substances into and out of the body. Epithelial tissue comes in various forms, each tailored for specific functions. Simple epithelium with its single layer of cells is perfect for absorption and filtration. We find this type in the lining of blood vessels and air sacs in the lungs. Stratified epithelium, on the other hand, is made up of multiple layers. This makes it well suited for protection against abrasion. Our skin's outer layer is a prime example of stratified epithelium. Connective tissue is the most abundant and diverse type of tissue in the animal body. It provides support, structure, and connection for other tissues and organs. Imagine connective tissue as the glue that holds everything together. Unlike epithelial tissue, connective tissue has cells scattered throughout an extracellular matrix. This matrix is secreted by the connective tissue cells. It largely determines the tissue's properties. The matrix can be liquid, gel-like, or solid, depending on the type of connective tissue. Connective tissue comes in a fascinating variety. Loose connective tissue, like the cushioning areolar tissue, supports organs and provides a pathway for blood vessels and nerves. Dense connective tissue, found in tendons and ligaments, provides strong connections between muscles and bones. Specialized connective tissues, like cartilage and bone, provide structural support and protection. Blood, a unique liquid connective tissue, transports oxygen, nutrients, and waste products throughout the body. Muscle tissue, the body's movers and shakers. Muscle tissue is responsible for movement, from the beating of our heart to the movement of our limbs. It does this by contracting and relaxing. There are three types of muscle tissue: skeletal, cardiac, and smooth. Each type has a unique structure and function. Skeletal muscle is responsible for voluntary movements. Cardiac muscle pumps blood. Smooth muscle controls involuntary movements. Nervous tissue, the body's control center. Nervous tissue is the body's control center. It receives, processes, and transmits information throughout the body, allowing us to sense and respond to our environment. Think of nervous tissue as the body's high-speed communication network. Nervous tissue is composed of specialized cells called neurons and supporting cells called glial cells. Neurons are the basic unit of the nervous system. They transmit information via electrical and chemical signals. Glial cells provide support and insulation for neurons. This intricate network of neurons and glial cells forms the brain, spinal cord, and nerves that permeate the body. The nervous system is divided into the central nervous system, or CNS, and the peripheral nervous system, or PNS. The CNS, consisting of the brain and spinal cord, acts as the central processing unit, receiving, interpreting, and sending out commands. The PNS, a network of nerves extending throughout the body, relays sensory information to the CNS and carries out motor commands from the CNS. Plant tissues, a world of growth and support. Plant tissues enable growth, development, and survival. They are classified into meristematic and permanent tissues. Meristematic tissues produce new cells. Permanent tissues perform specialized functions. They support, conduct, and photosynthesize. Xylem conducts water and minerals, phloem transports sugars,